Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Granada, there lived a man who had inherited great wealth from his father. But instead of using it wisely, he spent his days in reckless pleasures, unwise choices, and careless living. In a short time, all his riches were gone, even to the very last coin. Sitting alone one evening, with arms folded across his chest, he sighed deeply, thinking about his ruined state. His father's old friends gathered around to comfort him, but one of them, a wise scholar, spoke with seriousness. "Son, you have offended your fortune, and it has abandoned you. If you wish to be fortunate again, you must seek out your fortune, reconcile with it, and perhaps regain the blessings you once had." Encouraged by these words, the man set out on a long journey. He crossed deserts and mountains in search of his fortune. One night, in a dream, he saw his fortune appear before him as a man like himself, lying face down on the peak of a mountain, sighing and beating his chest, just as he had done. When morning came, the man rose and continued walking toward that mountain. On the way, he met a talking lion sitting on a mound of earth by the roadside. "Do not fear, traveler," said the lion. "Tell me, where are you going?" The man explained that he was searching for his fortune. The lion replied, "If you find your fortune, ask him what remedy exists for my suffering. I have been ill for 7 years. If you bring me the cure, I will reward you greatly." The man promised and went on. Not long after, he reached a large orchard full of fruit trees, but when he plucked the fruits and tasted them, they were all bitter. The gardener appeared and asked his purpose. Hearing the man's story, the gardener said, "Then please ask your fortune what remedy can heal my orchard. I have grafted branches, planted new trees, cut down the old, but nothing has worked. If your fortune can show me the solution, I will reward you generously." The man agreed and continued. Soon he arrived at a splendid palace, shining in the sunlight, surrounded by gardens more beautiful than paradise. Inside lived a young maiden, beautiful but sorrowful. She asked the traveler who he was and why he had come. The man told her his story. "I have everything," she said, "wealth, land, and this grand palace. Yet my heart is restless with grief, and I live in sighs day and night. Please ask your fortune what can bring peace to my heart. If you return with the answer, I shall reward you abundantly." The man promised and moved forward. Finally, he reached the mountain and saw his fortune lying face down, just as in his dream. The man poured out his story of misery and begged for guidance. His fortune listened and replied, "Since you have come so far to find me, all may yet be well." The man then asked the questions he had promised to deliver, and his fortune gave him the answers. "Will you not return with me?" the man asked. "Go ahead," Fortune replied. "I will come after you." On his way back, the man first stopped at the maiden's palace. He told her, "Your sorrow will end when you marry a man of your own choice, and then happiness will be yours." Then he went to the orchard and said to the gardener, "The spring that waters your garden has gold hidden within. The roots of the trees absorb the particles, making the fruits bitter. You must either clean the gold from the spring or water your trees from another source, and your fruits will be sweet." The gardener thanked him and offered him all the gold, but the man refused, saying he did not wish to trouble himself with such a heavy burden. Lastly, he returned to the lion and explained all that had happened. "And what gift did the maiden give you?" asked the lion. "She confessed her love for me and offered marriage," replied the man, "but I refused." "And what reward did the gardener give you?" asked the lion. "He offered me the gold, but I refused again," said the man. "And what about me?" asked the lion. "Your cure," answered the man, "is to eat the head of a fool, and then you shall be healed." The lion looked straight into his eyes and said, "By heaven, I see no greater fool on this earth than you." With a swift strike of his paw, he crushed the man's skull and devoured him in one mouthful. The lesson is clear. On the journey toward success, fortune, and happiness, one must recognize the opportunities that life places along the way. To refuse the gifts that come, to ignore the chances for love, wealth, and purpose, is the greatest foolishness of all. Never walk through life blind to the blessings before you accept them. Value them and trouble yourself enough to hold on to them. For fortune does not wait forever.